Hearing from hundreds of women today, including one from North Texas, who say that their breast implants made them pretty sick.
Tonight, survivors of breast implant-associated lymphoma say their numbers are growing.
The FDA has been investigating the link between symptoms of breast implants.
I asked my plastic surgeon, are they safe? Of course they are. They didn't talk about how it can attack how your body sees it as a foreign object, and it will flare up autoimmune issues. The shell of all implants are still made of silicone. The silicone shell is made up of 40 different chemicals, and it's sitting right there on your chest and your lungs, near your brain.
Sure. Okay, so my name is Kristin Garcia. I am happily married and have 2 boys. I've been married for 11 years and have lived in Vegas for the same amount of time, and I also work full-time. I actually have been a makeup artist for about 15 years, and I worked for a different company, and I was recruited by Lush to join their team and their business to manage a new location that was opening in Summerlin in Las Vegas. Yeah. Wow, it changed a lot. I remember wanting to be a zoologist for a while and loved animals, I still do. But I got into makeup really young and stuck with it and became a makeup artist and sort of went down that path and enjoy it a lot and do it on my own time because I don't have the opportunity to do much of it with Lush. Yes, yeah, so married for 11 years, but we've been together for about 15 years. And my boys are 5 and 7 years old, so my youngest is getting ready to start school. And we've just been happily doing the life thing together, and we moved to Vegas, my husband and I, in 2008 from Tucson, Arizona, transferred with the company that I was currently working for, and just thought that Vegas was this big, beautiful city that had so much opportunity and we could grow financially as well as have a wonderful family together. So we've just sort of been here ever since. I had 2 boys. I breastfed both of them. I had gained some weight during both pregnancies as well as just growing up. I gained weight, and so I made it something that was important to me that I wanted to get healthy for my children. So I decided to focus on my diet, my health, exercising, and really just dove into that. So working out every day, eating right, eating healthy, learning as much as I could so that I could just be as healthy as possible for my kids. So implants was actually a reward for me because I met my weight loss goals and had stuck with it for so long that I lost 30 pounds, and that was supposed to be my reward, was to give myself implants, because losing 30 pounds and breastfeeding 2 kids they weren't the same anymore. My mom has implants. She still has them to this day. She's had them for 30 years, and I just remember that she always looked great and she had always been happy with them, and so I decided to do some research and find some really reputable plastic surgeons in Las Vegas. And when I found the right one, I made my consultation, told them what my hopes were. I wanted to do a lift as well as implants. Since losing so much weight, and most of it from my chest, of course, that I thought that would be the best option, and it would just make me really happy with the way that I looked, since I had been working so hard with my fitness and exercising. No, actually. He was super excited to tell me about the gummy bear implants and how safe they were, because it was a type of silicone that, even if they ruptured, could not seep into the body in any way, that stayed together in a solid form, and they were the safest things on the market, and I would be most happy with those because the external appearance as well as the feeling them, they felt like natural, like I didn't even have them. No, no allergies, no major health issues of any kind growing up or anything. I was proud. I was so happy with my diet and weight loss goals, and just how I had made fitness a huge part of my life, that it was my reward and I wanted everyone to know, and I wasn't shy about it. And you know, growing up with my mom having implants, it wasn't like taboo or anything, so I was proud and happy about it. Recovery was actually pretty easy, and I anticipated it to be significantly worse than it was because I had also gotten a lift at the same time. But when I had my follow-up appointments with my doctor, he always said that I was healing beautifully and there was no complications and my scars were minimal, and he was very proud of the work. 3 years. I had him for 3 years. It wasn't very long. So the biggest issue that I was dealing with was I had a lot of stomach issues, and I could not figure out why. I had been seeing my doctor prior to explant about 1.5 years of just going to see, you know, what food allergies I had, why, what I was eating that was causing such disruption in my stomach and bloating and just a lot of really gastrointestinal issues. And everything would always come back negative. There's nothing wrong with your stomach, you don't have any food allergies. And it wasn't until my doctor decided to test me for celiac disease that he wanted to see if maybe that was the cause and I needed to cut gluten out of my diet. And that came back negative. But he had also tested me for other autoimmune diseases, and it came back that I had the antibodies for Hashimoto's disease. And that was June of last year. And he wasn't super supportive as far as like telling me what it was or how to handle it, except that my body will continue to attack my thyroid. I'll eventually have to have it removed, and I'll be on medication for the rest of my life. Not at this time, no. I had suffered with that. I was devastated about my thyroid and didn't understand how this could possibly be happening. Thyroid issues do not run in my family at all on either side, and it was really upsetting, and I started to develop other symptoms. I was having lots of issues with my vision. I was having increased bouts of vertigo. My first experience with vertigo was about 6 months after I got my implants, and I just thought it was allergies and didn't think anything of it. I started having allergic reactions to things. My hands and my feet would swell up, and I'd have to go and get a shot to stop the reaction, but again, they just couldn't figure out why. And it sort of was something that I just thought, I have to deal with this. This is my life now. I'm not a healthy person anymore, and I just have to find a way to deal with it. And it wasn't until I started thinking about my mom and her implants, and she, when I was about 10 years old, was diagnosed with lupus. And I started to think, you know, I remember being a kid and her talking about doctors and how it had gotten on the news that implants were causing lupus. And I just remember thinking about that, and I thought, well, maybe it's my implants. So then I started to do research. I actually stopped seeing him as soon as he told me I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, because his response was to Google it, since I didn't know anything about the disease. So I left him and found a new doctor shortly after, who was very supportive. She has been a big part of everything I've dealt with so far, and although I was her first patient who told her about breast implant illness, it wasn't that she didn't disbelieve, she just didn't have any information on it, and basically said that it's a foreign object in your body, and if your body's rejecting it, then, you know, maybe it's best that you take them out. So she was supportive in that sense, and we did a lot of blood work and tried to find all the underlying issues that could be causing inflammation in my body. She even tested me for silicone reaction, and it was negative. And so I was disappointed that it was negative, because I thought that it has to be my implants. And I told her, I said I didn't care, I was going to take them out anyways. And she was very supportive, and I'm still seeing her to this day. Yeah, so when I did my research, the first group that I came across online was the Implant Truth Survivors Club. And I reached out to them, sent them an email, told them my experiences. They asked me for some background information in an effort to help me get funding for my explant surgery. But from there, they directed me to Nicole's group on Facebook. And I joined the group, and at the time there was about 50,000 women in the group. And I just started going through everyone's stories and just found so many that were like mine. And, sorry. And it was just, I spent a lot of time thinking I was crazy. And to find these women that were going through the same thing, it sucks, but it was great to have that support. And I was posting in the group all the time. Anything, any symptom, has anybody experienced this? Has anybody experienced hair loss? That was a huge one, as my hair was falling out, I was losing my eyebrows. And this was all in the last month before my explant. I found the group, joined the group in early September, and explanted on October 28th of last year. So as soon as I realized that this was it, like finding Nicole's group, it was almost like fate. Like, this is it. There's no doubt, no doubt in my mind that this is what's happening. And immediately started researching to find an explant surgeon and wanted to get them out as soon as possible before they could cause any more damage. I think it's just that even though she was supportive, she had never experienced it before. And, you know, I'm fortunate that my doctor is an internal medicine doctor, but is certified in functional medicine. So she was willing to think outside of the box and be more open to the idea. But even then, it just isn't, you can't experience it unless, you can't know for certain what's going on unless you're experiencing it yourself. And, you know, I have friends and family who were on board and incredibly supportive. And then I also know people who still have implants and are suffering and refuse to believe it. So you're alone because it's not a recognized illness. It's not recognized by doctors and the FDA, and that's where it's important because, you know, yes, it was an elective surgery. Yes, I was happy with my results and I loved them, but it's not worth my health. And then I'm alone trying to find a way to remove them and pay for it and convince people that I'm not crazy. Right now, everyone thinks it's a fad, and I didn't spend $18,000 on a fad. He was recognizing it. I guess it wasn't something that he fully believed, in a sense that his exact words were that he was treating it like a science experiment, where if you have this woman who is sick with their implants and they have these lists of symptoms, he would document all of those things. He would do the removal and do it en bloc to make sure that everything is gone, because if you're going to do a science experiment, you got to do it right. So then from there, with follow-up appointments, he would go back to those symptoms, see what was changed, to sort of solidify his beliefs or try to put some more background into the explants that he was doing. And that's exactly what he did with me. I told him my symptoms, he wrote them all down. We scheduled the explant surgery. I was confident in him doing it the correct way. And then followed up, and my first appointment the day after surgery, it was night and day in my symptoms. And, you know, he had told me that there wasn't a single explant that he had done that they didn't feel better afterwards, and that their symptoms didn't improve. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. I felt like I got my life back. My kids are so young, and I did not want to be bedridden and not be a part of their lives or not be able to have fun with them. I mean, I have 2 boys, they're wild, and they want to, do everything they can in a day, and I want to be there for them. And to have a doctor who believed in me, who removed them the correct way, who allowed me to just go through this whole procedure in confidence that he was, going to take good care of me. It was a blessing. It was an absolute blessing. And I just felt my symptoms just diminished instantly. I want there to be change in the risks that are stated in breast implants, in any implants of any kind. The FDA needs to be more vocal about the risks that are involved, and I think that any woman that is considering getting breast implants, they should know them. It should be a topic of conversation in the plastic surgeon's office. I don't think that anyone is immune from the illness, and I think it will develop in everyone in some way, shape, or form. And I think that had I known, I would have never done it. So I think that people need to have all the tools to be their own health advocate and make the best choice for themselves. And I've noticed that being in the group, because there are lots of women in Nicole's group that are considering getting implants, and they join the group to find out what's going on. And they're in the group for a week, and their next comment is, never mind, you guys changed my life, I'm not doing it. And I think even more so, I think that women need to be happy with who they are. Not feel like they need something, an implant to make them feel more appealing, or put us into this societal image that we're supposed to have. And I've never felt better in my skin. I've never felt more beautiful. I've never been more happy since explanting with myself. And I think that, changing things with the FDA, making that something that is an expectation, in making people aware of the risks involved with breast implants is number one. But number two is body positivity. Be happy in your own skin and love it, because that's how you were made. And if you're happy and confident with who you are, that's how people will see you, and it doesn't matter about anything else.
A special thank you to European Bath, Kitchen, Tile and Stone in Las Vegas, Nevada.